Level 593. 5 seconds passed. Neither side moved. Xiao Bei was eager to see his idol in action, while Ye Xiu, unsure of his opponent's skill level, decided to hold back and observe first. On the small minimap, the two of them could see each other face to face, yet neither made a move. The onlookers were all friends, and seeing the two just standing there without fighting, they promptly started heckling, with messages like, "Go on, fight," flooding the chat.
Yeah, let's fight.
Yi Shu said the same. There was no bad blood with Zhan Lulan's crew, and now they were on the path to cooperation, so naturally the match lacked any real tension. Xiao Bei saw that the two of them weren't moving and found it amusing. Watching Ye Xiu speak, he immediately manipulated his Gui Ku Lai Shi and charged forward.
Not bad.
The two sides quickly clashed, spears thrusting back and forth. Yi Shu's side had already started their commentary.
Will you be a mainstay of the team in the future?
Qualified.
Well, depends on the team.
The championship team.
Having ideals is a good thing.
Yi Shu praised him, but the implication was clear. This was an ideal, not reality.
Then I won't hold back.
Oh, holding something back, are we?
And just like that, 2 minutes later, Gui Ku Lai Shi collapsed.
Where was I holding back?
Yi Shu was a bit puzzled.
That's cheating.
Xiao Bei was crying his eyes out, his corpse sending up text bubbles. Since this was a normal arena in the game, the settings were entirely up to the players, unlike in the Pro League, where corpses automatically sent up text bubbles.
Isn't this a staff technique? Why are you using spear moves?
Too rigid. Who says you can only use one style?
That said, Yi Shu was playing this round entirely as a spear user. The difference between spear and staff techniques is that both rely primarily on physical attack skills, but their stat allocation paths differ. Mixing the two styles results in insufficient damage output. Yet even under those circumstances, Yi Shu casually dismantled Xiao Bei's Gui Ku Lai Shi, and Yi Shu made it look easy. Zhan Lulan and the others exchanged a look, clearly taken aback. They had some confidence in their own strength, but being taken down so easily by this man made it clear Yi Chu's identity was no fake. At the same time, if the gap between them and the top experts was really this huge, then talk of a championship team was indeed too big a claim.
Who's next? What class do you want to play?
Let them all get a taste of their own class first.
Next to step forward was the elementalist, Fang Gehai.
Jihai, go.
Defeated, Xiao Bei cried out.
Truly.
Jihai just smiled. Of course they knew that Xiao Bei practically worshipped Ye Chu. Now that his identity was looking more and more legit, this guy actually cheered himself on.
Truly. But you're still going to lose. Even if 1 million people show up to cheer for you, it won't make a difference. Get lost.
Jihai laughed and cursed, but he wasn't confident either. No one knew Xiao Bei's skill level better than their own crew. Whether it was Ye Chu or not, anyone who could beat Xiao Bei was clearly very strong. That much was certain. Jihai played it safe, keeping his distance from the start with no intention of closing in. But Yi Chu, the battle mage opposite him, simply raised his spear and spun it. Then a fire bullet, an elementalist skill, shot straight over. Jihai quickly rolled aside to dodge.
What, you planning to fight like an elementalist?
No sooner had the words left his mouth than he heard a sound every elementalist knew intimately, the unmistakable thud of a frostball hitting its mark.
What rotten luck.
Jihai thought that rolling left would solve everything. But as his gaze flicked left, he caught the trail of a Dark Night Shadow Strike spell flashing past.
So fast.
Jihai's heart skipped a beat. He realized his opponent had cast 3 spells in an instant. These low-tier incantations were lightning fast. The enemy had calculated that he would dodge left or right to counterattack, so they dropped a spell on both possible landing spots. Jihai rolled to the right and got hit by a frost snowball, If he'd rolled left, the Dark Shadow Strike would have caught him instead.
As for battle mages, they learn a lot of elemental and dark magic skills. You didn't know that?
Yi Chu said this as his character flicked its sleeve, and a streak of purple shot out, snaring the Geihai ahead and yanking it right in front of him. It was indeed a witch's skill, the Dark Night Cloak. Then, finally, a battle mage's Sky Strike launched, sending the front row of squares hurtling into the air. A magical chaser shot out, struck home, and the explosive arcane blast slammed the front row back to the ground. But just then, the sea of enemies ahead suddenly launched into the air once more.
How is that possible?
Ji Haiming was startled. There was no way Sky Strike's cooldown was that fast. Then he took another look at the elemental fluctuations above his head, and it clicked. This time, it wasn't the battle mage's Sky Strike launching him into the air, but the elementalist's own float skill, Elemental Force.
This account's stat allocation is actually pretty interesting.
Yi Shu muttered to himself, then immediately launched another flurry of attacks. Jihai up ahead hadn't expected that at all. He'd planned to be cautious, but aside from that one roll, he never touched the ground again, until the very end, when he finally slammed into it. This time, the 5 members of Zanlo Lan were even more stunned. If Xiaobei's return to the past was a loss without much suspense, then Fang Chengehai's match was downright ugly. He was launched and comboed to death in midair, a sight rarely seen in the Pro League. Even between the most elite veteran and the greenest rookie, the gap shouldn't be this vast.
What's going on?
When the Sea Splitter was defeated on the front, Zhan Lulan asked, a bit frustrated.
He's got perfect timing. Every single time he reads my intent and gets there first.
Jihai spoke from across the sea.
Your intentions?
Yeah, he saw right through all of it.
This alone showed that Zhan Lulan and his team were no slouches. At least this group understood why they lost, instead of being completely overwhelmed by Ye Shu.